everyone. Welcome to our Touch Base Thursday video for September 23rd. Once you find me live here tonight, please go ahead and comment. And I am going to see if I can find myself here as well. Usually Natalie has me right at the page. All right, there we go. There I am. Okay. Usually Natalie has me right at the page. But why am I not muting here, Nat? All right, there we go. All right, I think I'm good. Woo! I think. Okay, hi to Patty and to Sonia and Judy. Welcome, ladies. Why won't this go away, Natalie? Okay. Whew, think I'm good. Missy and Kay, hi, ladies. Welcome to our Touch Base Thursday. I'm good. You are dismissed. I'm letting Natalie go up to eat. She hasn't had a chance to eat yet. Anyway, so hi, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday video for tonight. I don't know about you, but it's been kind of a blah day here today in Michigan. Rainy day. And so I've just been kind of blah feeling today. So I'm excited to be going live because you guys always kind of make me feel excited to be going live with all of you and sharing fun projects. And I whipped together a 6th project to share with you guys just tonight about an hour ago. So anyway, but I'm got my sweater on. We have not turned the heat on in our house here yet. Our house was 67. I almost caved today when I got home from work, but I'm like, that would require me to run all the way up to our upstairs. Our house is a 2-story house plus a full basement, so it would require me to turn it on at all 3 basements, main floor. I wasn't going all the way up to the 3rd floor or the upstairs when I was in the basement, so it'll go on tonight. But anyway, yeah, I have. So my daughter actually just redid my hair because it was kind of messy. So literally right before she pushed me live, she redid it. So it's a little bit different compared to how I normally do it. But anyway, but welcome everyone. So I've got some really fun projects to share with you tonight using the Nature's Harvest bundle. Now I wanted to address some issues that Stampin' Up! Is having with shipping. There's some global shipping issues that they have going on. I know right now you are unable to purchase the dies, and I know a couple of you have reached out to me. But the shipping issues are not just an issue with Stampin' Up! They are an issue for companies all over. So right now I can tell you that the tentative date for those dies to be back in stock, the ones I'm showcasing tonight, is next week. Now those dates change on a regular basis. As demonstrators, we kind of have an idea as to when things will be coming back. We get a tentative date. They do shift sometimes if things don't come in. So if there's something that you are unable to order, reach out to me. Let me know. I'll make sure I add it to a list. I check that list, or add your name to the list of what product it is that you're looking for. I check that list, what's called their inventory report. I check it daily, so I can easily let you know when something's back in stock. Okay, so know that Stampin' Up! Is doing the very best they can, and some of these shipping issues are way beyond their control as well. So I just wanted to put that out there and let you all know that they are doing the best that they can to get all those things in stock for us. So anyway, I have a few announcements to share with all of you. A few things that has happened or gone on in the last week or so. So I got to tell you some exciting news about Claire, and of course it's going to be exciting news about her with her orchestra stuff. But Claire is going to be auditioning. Woohoo! I love this one. It is called, I had to write it down, it's called the Michigan School Band and Orchestra Association All-State Band and Orchestra. So it is the state of Michigan's band and orchestra for high school students, and she's going to be auditioning the end of October. If she gets in, she will be practicing in the west side of the state. It's like a 1-weekend commitment, so that's why I'm like, try this, honey. It's a good thing for you. But she'll be auditioning on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then her concert will be at the Van Andel Arena, which is a big arena over in Grand Rapids, Michigan, which is about an hour and 40 minutes from where we live. But she is so excited. So she's going to be auditioning. So her and her professor are going to be working with her on a piece for that. And then she's also going to be doing the state solo ensemble here. So, woo! Okay, so there's my Claire update. I'm so, I told her not to play the orca or the cello when she first started to. I'm like, no, it's too big. Pick a smaller instrument. And man, is she proving me wrong over and over again. Okay, Sorry, I get a little emotional because I feel like I would have stopped her from an amazing opportunity had she not said to me, Mom, I really want to play this instrument. So anyway, excited for her with that. So she's going to be working on a special piece. And then, so that's our big news. So this weekend, I'll make sure I'll post pictures. One of the things that Natalie's going to be doing is, as a senior, she can paint her own personal parking spot at the high school. So she paid for her own like little parking spot. It was like $15, but we get to paint it. So she's putting a sunflower in there and her name. So that's what we're doing on Sunday. We're going to go paint. And so wish us luck. She's like, oh, Mom, a sunflower will be easy. And I said to her, yeah, it's easy for me out of cardstock and paper. Like if you want me to paper craft you something for your parking spot, but I can't draw, so this could get interesting. So hopefully her dad's going to be able to help her with that too. But she ended up coming up with this really pretty sunflower and her name on it and things like that. So anyway, that's really all I have in the way of announcements. We haven't been, this last weekend I had a huge event. I did my sweet retreat, which is kind of like my sweet peach retreat. And it was a fundraiser for the St. Henry Center, which is a building that I use for lots of my events. So I want to thank everyone, my team, all of my customers who attended that. It was a lot of fun. Some of you purchased the online kit to go. That will go out in the mail. If we don't get it out tomorrow, it'll go out in the mail middle of next week. So I'm really excited about that. Oh, I know, Philomena, we're going to have lots of fun with that painting. I hope it goes okay. But anyway, so we want to thank everyone who attended that. And then this last week was, last night was actually my online bingo. So my next online bingo is October 20th. I call it my online fun party because I don't like to, well, Facebook doesn't like me using the word bingo in my advertising. So, but know that it's open and available for any of you that want to take that. The registration link will be available probably in the next day. I'm working on it as we speak. Well, not like right now, but I'm working on it. And so that will be available for people to sign up for. It's only $35. We play 6 games of bingo. Philomena, I know, is watching. She can tell you we have a ton of fun. We play 6 games, only 1 winner per game, because if I have a tie, I've got a way to break that tie. Make and takes that we do afterwards. It's well worth your $35. Now that we're getting into the winter, fall and winter months, it's a good thing to be able to take advantage of. So just want to make sure you guys know October 20th, the third Wednesday, is my next one. And I'm glad, Philomena, that you enjoy that. Okay, so if you shared my video from last week, you got entered into the drawing to receive some awesome prizes. And I have 2 winners. So the winner of the brushed metallic adhesive backed dots is Courtney Ostendorp. So Courtney, congratulations, and I'm hoping I'm saying your name right. And Courtney was actually a first-time bingo player last night as well. So congratulations, Courtney. I was so surprised and happy to see your name pop up. I'm like, oh, Courtney. And then the winner of the ribbon, this is the pool party and white polka dot ribbon, or polka dot striped ribbon, is Jerry Grover. So congratulations, ladies. Thank you so much for sharing my video. If you share my video this week, make sure you comment. Even if you're watching on replay, comment shared in the comments, because if when you share it, I don't always see the names of who's all shared, but I look at the comments. So that's where we pull your names from, okay? So make sure you comment shared. So anyway, but that is where I put everyone's name in, okay? So my 2 things that I'll be drawing for, or 2 prizes that I'll be drawing for next week, are the blue adhesive backed gems and then the matte decorative dots. Okay, so those are the 2 items. So yeah, Pat, it's okay. Hopefully one of these times you'll be able to play with us. I totally get the whole budget thing. I really, really do. So anyway, those are the 2 items that we'll be drawing winners for next week for drawing. And then a few other things I have in the way of announcements. Celebration. This is the last week of celebration, and I know I've got a handful of you thinking about joining my team. I would love to have you, but you only have a week to do it. Again, the promotion is that you get to pick $125 of product for only $99 plus tax free shipping. And then you get to pick a bundle of your choice for free. There are 12 of them available. They're all from the January, or the holiday catalog, the July through December catalog. And they're all listed inside on the inside cover of the celebration flyer as well. So would love to have you, if you're able to, take advantage of that. It's an awesome deal. Risk-free kit. You don't have to buy anything additional. So who wouldn't want a free bundle valued at least $45 or $50 plus an additional $25 for free? So I just want to make sure you guys know this is the last week. It ends September 30th. Give you an update on my ordering promotion. So, and I will tell you guys what my goal is once I get there. I can't tell you yet, but I set a, thank you, Pat. Pink's my favorite color, actually. But I set a sales goal for myself, and I always try to better my best every single year. And I've been so fortunate and blessed by all of you who follow me, buy the products from me, that every year I have been very successful with that. This year, I'm on the verge of bettering my best, like in a big way. And so I'm stretching myself a little bit farther than I have any other year. But I am about $350 away from my, my ordering goal for the year. And I will share that with all of you once I achieve it. If I achieve it, because I've told myself that I can't order it because I've already put in my supply. I do a supply order for my business every month, and I already did that. So, and I want to like truly earn this because it just means more to me. So my ordering promotion is, and the link will be in the description of this video. It's been the same for the last couple of weeks. Anybody who puts in a $50 order, so you'll get your celebration offering from Stampin' Up. Then the end of the month, I'm shipping everybody who puts in an order a pack of dimensionals and a pack of, or a box of glue dots. That's a $9.25 value, additional for free. I've been getting them and I have a surplus of them. And I'm like, why not share it as a thank you for everybody who helps me achieve the goal. So that is my ordering promotion that I have going on through the end of the month. Those will go out probably the beginning of October, once I kind of get everything finalized and have all my names and stuff ready to go. So anyway, thank you to those of you who have already done an order with me and helped me. I truly appreciate it. So a few classes that are still open. This is the last week for my Peaceful Deer, Cutest Halloween, and Gorgeous Leaves card class. And then I'm not sure if what you guys all have going on October 2nd, but I'd love to get a few more of you together to create some beautiful projects with me. It's World Card Making Day. I'll be doing my class over Zoom, or I'll be just sending you a PDF if you want to just do it on your own. And for those of you that live local to the Mount Pleasant area, I'm inviting you to come right down here in my basement. I've got a really fun class designed using the Strong of Heart stamp set, and I posted about it a couple times. So I have lots of availability yet. I think I've only had a handful of people take me up on it. So I would love to have you guys do that class with me. Like I said, if you're not able to do it over Zoom, I can send you the document with instructions, but it includes the stamp set and it includes all kinds of awesome things in it. The stamp set, $3 of the stamp set, of the cost of the stamp set goes towards heart health. It's a Make a Difference stamp set that Stampin' Up! Is actually doing. So that's why I chose that stamp set. Okay. And then I have 2 new classes that I'm working on. So you'll be seeing these posts soon. I'm doing one with the Jolly Christmas stamp set, the pretty little snowmen. And then I'm doing a Peaceful Cabin, the Peaceful Cabin bundle, a class with that. And so those are the 2 things I'm working on actually this weekend. And that's, I think, all I have in the way of announcements for you. Like I said, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the shipping issues with Stampin' Up!, which I kind of already addressed. Again, the celebration coming to an end. So those of you that have been on the fence thinking about buying the kit, it's a risk-free kit. You get lots of support from me as your team member upline. I hate the whole upline downline word. We're a team. That's the way I look at it. But I do lots of different events on Facebook as far as, you know, posting your creativity with us and and prizes and events that are both local or getting them in the mail if you're long distance. So there are things that I offer and promote and and offer just my team members. So would love to have you to consider joining my team and being part of what I think is one of the best teams out there. So, okay, with that, I'm going to transition my camera down. And hi to Pam. Oh, and Carol's got her birthday coming up. Woohoo! Lots of October birthdays. Okay, so those of you that have birthdays, you need to message me. I'll get them off of here for those of you that commented, but I'd send birthday cards out. I've been advertising it a few times in my emails, but I do birthday cards, and I actually offer anybody who's got a birthday 20% off of an order, so the month of their birthday. So make sure you get on my birthday list if you're not getting cards from me. I send them out at the beginning of every month. So private message me your birthday if you don't want to comment here, but I would love to have my birthday list grow and get you guys a birthday card in the mail. Okay. So with that, I'm going to transition my camera down to the stamp area. We're going to talk again, like I mentioned, I'm going to be showcasing the Harvest Natures bundle. Now tonight I do not have a 3D project for you, but I have a fun technique that I'm going to share with you using that awesome cork that I talked about a little bit in my Facebook Live last week. So I chose to focus in on a technique versus a 3D project. I think you guys will like it though. So with that, I'm going to transition the camera down and let me show you what I've created using this amazing bundle that is very, very popular. Okay, so you guys are going to get your little sneak peek of all my projects. Oops, let me move Claire left her AirPods down here. You just saw her AirPods. So both my girls rushed down here to help me get set up because I went, oh my gosh, it's almost 7. And I wasn't down here yet. So here are some of the things that we're going to be sharing and talking about tonight. And I'll be showcasing how I did some of these cards and projects. Aren't they pretty? So there's your little sneak peek. Okay, so like I said, I chose to not do a 3D project tonight, and instead I chose to focus on a technique. Now, I cannot take credit for this technique. I found this technique online from another demonstrator who stamped on our cork paper. So I've talked about our cork paper a couple of times, but I've never actually, I don't think I've actually showed it on, like a full piece of it on my Facebook Live. So I'm going to show you this one first, and then I'll get into the bundle and show you the bundle as well. But this is the cork paper right here. It's a very thin paper. It's very uneven. So to stamp on it can be a little bit tricky. So like I said, I'm going to show you a few tips and tricks on how to stamp on this and get it to work. And then the back, it looks just, I mean, you can see it's kind of flimsy. It's more like the weight of this is more like a designer series paper than it is like a foil or anything like that. And the back of it then just has this craft color. Now this is much easier to cut with it being the cork down and using your blade on this. I found that if you have the cork side up and you try to cut on this, it kind of tears because of the texture on this cork paper, okay? So there's your first tip with this, this cork. Now this cork is in our holiday catalog. And it is part of the bundle that I am showcasing tonight. It's part of the Harvest Meadows bundle. And you'll see the cork is over here. You get 2 sheets for $7.50, and those sheets are 12 by 12 sheets of designer series paper. So I'm going to be showcasing on some of the same paper that I used last time. So if you watched me last week, you know that I showcased this paper with the gorgeous leaves and kind of shows you how you can create cards outside of a bundle, how you can use a different bundle and bring in other elements from, from a different one. And then we're going to be showcasing I'm also going to be showcasing the brushed metallic adhesive backed dots. And I actually gave those away this week to, I think it was Courtney. I think, Courtney, you were the winner. Courtney may have joined us a little bit late, but Courtney, you were the winner of the brushed metallic adhesive backed dots. So those are going to be coming your way. Okay, so this is the bundle, and like I said, I do know that the Nature's Harvest dies are on back order right now, so you're not able to get the dies. You are able to get the stamp set, and right now the tentative date for these dies to be in is next week, according to our inventory report with Stampin' Up. Again, if any of you want me to add you to the list of being notified when something comes in, let me know. I'd be happy to do that. And I see we have Pam following, watching here from Illinois. So welcome to Pam. Okay, so my dies have been very, very well used already. This was one of my classes that I offered last month. And so I cut out a lot of dies with it, but you have so many different things that you can do with these dies. I'm going to actually show you a better picture of them so that you can see them from the catalog. Because you get more than just cutting out, you know, normally when you have a bundle, you get like, there's a stamp set with a bunch of things to cut out. And with this one, the dies are a little bit different. So let me bring them right in so you guys can see, because you get lots of different ones that you can use on your card. You know, so this one right here does cut out this, and this one right here cuts out that. But look at all the additional ones that you get. Isn't that awesome? I love it. Oh, I love the birthdays coming in. Yes, Peggy, I will get you added. Okay, so anyway, this is the bundle that we're going to be using. And so the first thing I'm going to do is create this card and show you the technique of stamping onto the cork, okay? Now, what I did for the card, let me actually, before we put the card together, let's get the stamping piece done. So this, I used a piece of 4x3 cork, okay? Now, for this, I used our Stamparatus. If you don't have the Stamparatus yet, it is perfect thing to purchase for anyone who has trouble with stamping. So if when you stamp, you don't get a good image or it gets kind of crooked, Stamparatus may be your friend and maybe something that you want to purchase, okay? Now, the reason why I'm using the Stamparatus is because this is uneven. You do have to stamp it 2 or 3 times to get the image that you would like to get. And you're going to see what I mean here in just a couple of minutes. Now, the Stamparatus comes with a couple of magnets. Mine have since broke, but I still use them. And I actually only have to use one of them. So what I do is I put my little piece of, and I always try to use the center of this. So you can see I'm lining it up at the 2-inch and I'm lining it up at the 5-inch on the bottom. So I'm just going to put my little piece of cork right here, and then this little magnet is going to just kind of hold it in place, okay? This is the stamp that we are going to be using on this project. So what I do is I line it up on my piece of cork where I would like it to go, okay? So I kind of want it to be right there. Oh, we got Sonia's birthday coming in. Oh, Sonia, your birthday is a day after our anniversary. So October 23rd will be my 22nd wedding anniversary. And I see Pat popped in with her. Lots of October birthdays. Okay, so you can see that I just laid the stamp on there. Now these hinges come off of the Stamparatus. You actually we have a double hinge. You can have one at the top, one at the side. I only chose to put the one in at the side because I only need the one, okay? So here you can see where I put that, and I'm just going to push this down, and I'm going to pick up my stamp with this. So by doing this, every time I bring this stamped image or this down, it's going to stamp in the same spot, okay? I'm going to scoot this down to bring in my whole Stamparatus, and I'm using Rich Raspberry ink. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink up these flowers really, really well. So I am not a huge Stamparatus user, only because I've been stamping for so long without any kind of a tool like this. So for me, it was more of an adjustment getting used to it. But for this, it's definitely going to come in handy. Now I'm just going to pull this over and I'm going to stamp this down really, really good. Now your ink will not, unless you use Stays On ink, your ink will not stick to this cork. So you do have to heat set it. But I'm making sure that this ink has a little bit of time to kind of really adhere and stick to that piece of cork. Now I'm going to lift it up very carefully. And you can see that my image is on there, but not as vivid as my sample, right? So we are going to ink it up. I think I inked this up 3 different times. Again, here's why I'm doing the Stamparatus, because now when I ink this up and I bring it over again, it is going to stamp directly on the exact same place that I had that one previously. Okay, so I'm going to do the exact same thing. And you're just going to do this as many times as you feel you need to get a better stamped image. Now I'm using Rich Raspberry because that is the color of the card base that I used. You could use, and I think any of the darker colors that Stampin' Up! Has would work. I'm not sure if like the yellows would work very well or the greens, unless you used like a shaded spruce, but our darker colors will definitely work to do this little technique. And I'm just going to do this one more time. And I can tell by looking at it, it's not drying at all, which is exactly kind of what I want it to do, because we're going to then color it a little bit and bleed some of that color down. And I don't usually like to put another magnet up there, but I could have put a little one up there as well. But sometimes the magnets get in the way for me. Okay, then what I did is I took a blender pen, okay? So, Courtney, this one's pretty juicy. Last week my ink pad had to be re-inked. So this one I think we're good on. Part of the issue is the ink does not want to by nature adhere to this cork. So I took one of our blender pens. So this is very wet. If I was to touch this right now, it would completely smear. And all I did was bring down some of the color and blended it into the leaves. Okay, again, this is still wet, so I have time to do this. And then I just kind of made this a little bit more colorful. And I did the same thing over on this one. And just bleeded in a few of these leaves to kind of make it look like it was colored a little bit. And then I did the same thing on this one. Isn't this gorgeous though? It's so fun. So fun. Okay, then what you're going to do is I'm going to take this off here. So this is very wet, like I said, okay? I'm going to bring it up to the camera so you guys can see that the shininess of that, it is very wet. That will not dry unless you heat set it. So I'm going to move my Stamparatus out of the way, and I'm going to bring in my heat tool. Now my heat tool, I'm not sure I'll be able to bring it in all the way because my extension cord is not here and it has to be plugged in. But our heat tool has two settings. So if you push it on just to the first one is for heating things like this. The second one, which is noisier, is for doing your heat embossing. So you're going to want to leave it on the lower setting. It's going to take a little bit longer for this to dry, but you don't want to scorch that paper. Okay, and so it did take a little bit of time to dry, so we're just going to kind of talk while we go through this, but it dries, and your corkboard may get a little bit wrinkly, but it will flatten back out after it comes back, like it gets cooled down, okay? Thanks, Pat. It is so fun, and a neat way to use this cork. So, and just by itself, it doesn't maybe look the greatest, but once you add like my layers behind it, which is what we're going to do next, you'll see how beautiful this really is. So if you do not have this cork yet, I encourage you to get it, because now you can see that you can stamp on it, and it does a really nice job. Now to check to see if it's dry, I do not encourage you to rub it and go across. What I do is I just take my fingertip and I just gently go on it like that, and if there's any ink on it, it would be there. So that part is dry. What takes a little bit longer is the part where you've bled, okay, where you use that blender pen to draw that ink down. So, like I said, and on this lower setting, you will not scorch your paper. You don't want to hold it real close for too long, because then you might. But on that lower setting, you're in a pretty good safe zone for not having any issues, okay? But look how pretty that is. So isn't that awesome? Like I said, I cannot take the credit for seeing, the idea of stamping on cork. I came up with my own little way of doing it, but I saw this from another demonstrator and thought, I have got to give that a try. And then I was like, and I have got to share that on my Facebook Live. All right, so then what I did is I cut a piece, I hope I have it here, yes I do, of the, thank you everyone, I'm glad you like that. It's like I said, this will mellow out and get, once it cools down, it'll get nice and flat again. But I mounted this onto a 4 1/4 by 3 1/4 piece of the metallic brushed cardstock. This was a carryover item from our catalog last year, and I haven't used it yet this year. Now, just in case this is not completely dry yet, I don't want to turn that over and add adhesive to it. I'm sure it's dry though. Yeah, it's not coming up. So, but I just put the adhesive on that because it's a little bit easier to do. And this is going to have a perfect little mat to go around it. And then from there, I just did some layering. So I used the Rich Raspberry card base, so 5.5 by 8.5. And then I used Very Vanilla for my card layer, 5 1/4 by 4. I used a piece of crumb cake that is 5 by 3 3/4 for my next layer. Now, before we adhere these two layers together, I did do a little bit, I wanted this card to look a little bit vintage, a little bit more worn, so to speak. And so I went ahead and used one of our blending brushes. Now mine is stained. These wash really, really well. Mine is stained a little bit blue, a little bit yellow, but that will not come off on this. And I'm going to concentrate mainly around the outer edge because the middle no one's going to see. It's going to be covered up by my piece. But I'm just going to add some crumb cake to the edge of this and go right along here. I should also wish a happy birthday today to my daughter-in-law, Nicole. She usually watches on replay later because this is Chloe's bedtime. But today is Nicole's 30th birthday, so happy birthday to my daughter-in-law. And like I said, I hope she had a good day. Okay, so you can see I kind of just went around the edges of that. And then I'm going to adhere this down to my other card layer. And then I used the diamond weave ribbon that is also part of this bundle because I really like this ribbon. I'm just going to cut a piece big enough to go around the edges of it. And Mary, I don't think so. I think what you had picked was just the stamp set, but I'm going to be messaging you because I got your message about you having it, so we'll figure something out and get you something different. So I'll be messaging you. It's on my list to do, my dear. Just didn't get there yet. Okay, so anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and put that ribbon around there like that. And then this is going to get adhered to my card base. Whoops, there goes my little. And then my little piece here that I just did is going to get put on with some dimensionals. So let me find my dimensionals. I hope you guys liked that little tidbit of how to stamp on this cork because it's a neat little texture and something different. And I just really like it. Let me bring the card in so anybody who might be following along knows what we're making. So far, if you're joining me a little bit late, we did a stamping technique of stamping on our cork paper, and it is so pretty. And then that went right down in the middle. And then this is one of the dies that's part of the dies from the Nature's Harvest dies. And I just stamped Sending Healing Thoughts, may nature's beauty bring peace to your soul. And I chose to use the same ink pad, the Rich Razzleberry. And I will tell you, this has been one of my biggest struggles with this. So after it's already cut out, is stamping it straight. I've made so many different cards with this, and I've had a hard time getting this to stamp nice and straight. So I'm going to move it a little bit closer to me so that I can give it a good whirl, but I doubt if it's going to be straight. Oh my gosh, it's probably the straightest I've ever gotten it. All right. So anyway, I love the shape of that die because it goes perfectly with the saying, and it actually will hold a couple of them. Your thank you can go in there as well. So this is a really neat stamp set. You've got good luck. So I made a card like this for somebody who was retiring from my department, and so at work, and I made her a card using this. And then you have a reminder to never forget how much you mean to me and so many others. Such a nice greeting. Thank you. Sending healing hugs. My nature's beauty. That's the one I'm using right now. So anyway, and then I just put a couple of dimensionals on this. Now you're going to want to make sure you put it on the inside, not so that they hang over on the edge of this. And I put a couple dimensionals on that and added it to the card. And voila, you have a beautiful card showcasing that beautiful cork. So I have to know, how many of you are going to go out and get this cork if it wasn't on your list yet? I bet this is going to inspire a bunch of you to add that to your next order. So anyway, there you have it. But can you imagine the different colors that you could do this in? And it would just look different in so many different ways. Now, if you do not have a blender pen, you could also use like the aqua painter. Just don't put much water in it. All I did was pull a little bit of the color already in the leaves. I did not use the ink pad. You guys saw I just kind of blended it in from the ink that was right in those petals. So anyway, that is my fun little technique for you all tonight. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, so that's the first one I wanted to share with you. The next one I'm going to share with you is probably one of my favorite out of these cards. So I know I've over-designed again, so we're going to get through as many as we can. And I knew that first card would take a while, but it's okay. I wanted to share it with you. This one, though, is probably one of my favorites. I love the color scheme on this. So you are welcome, Lori and Philomena. And Karen, I love it. You bought the cork paper and didn't know what to do with it. Now you have an idea. Okay, so this paper is part of the paper from the Nature's Harvest bundle. I did kind of go over it and show a lot of it in detail last week because I also used it for the gorgeous leaves. But in case this is your first time watching me, I'll give you a little bit of a sneak peek of some of it right now. So you have different colors in here. There's some of the Misty Moonlight. You have some Crumb Cake, Calypso Coral, Bumblebee, a little bit of everything in here that you can use to design cards with. And so you're going to see me using some of this paper on my next few projects that I'm going to be sharing with you tonight. And like I said, this is probably one of my favorites that I did. Now this one, again, shows you how to use that stamp, same stamp, but not have all of the stems hanging down on the bottom. So the colors that I used in this one, Pat, I used Very Vanilla, Crumb Cake, Calypso Coral, and then a piece of this paper that's, I think it's the Mint Macron paper that's part of the Harvest Meadow bundle, or the designer paper. But it's one of my favorite. Like I said, this color scheme to me, I love it. It's one of my favorites. So, and this is kind of the exact same template of my last card. So I may not take the time to make all of it because you guys kind of will see that it is the exact same template. I just changed it up. And I like to do that purposely to give you guys, again, when you're like, I don't know what to do or what to design, or I don't have a card sketch or an idea. Can you see how this is kind of identical? I have my card base, my 2 layers, 4x3, 4 1/4 by 3 1/4, ribbon behind it, this here, and a focal point. Okay, so when you're struggling with making a card and you're like, what can I do? Pull from a different card that you've made, or pull from a different card that you may have received from me, from a different demonstrator, or one that you've made that you just love, and change it up a little bit. And it will look like a totally new card, okay? So for this one, I used, again, my paper is the 4x3, then I had this 4 1/4 by 3 1/4 behind it. And like I said, I'm probably not going to take the time to put this whole one together because I got so many more to show you. But again, you guys can see that this concept is identical. I did use the worn embossing folder on almost all of these cards. So this is going to get glued onto here. We would put that ribbon behind there. This gets put onto there. Let me bring my sample back in. Again, you guys can see it here. Using the layering circles. The colors that I used to color this is, I used the Stazon Black, and then I colored it with the light and the dark Calypso Coral blends. I used this, the Daffodil Delight blend, and then the Mint Macron. So again, it uses some of the same colors here that I included in my my card. And then that just, oh, sorry, this one I did the ribbon across all of this. And that way you can see more of the ribbon. And then that just adhered to the middle. Same thing, stamped your little sentiment on the bottom. So you guys kind of get an idea of how I did that one. Like I said, I don't want to show you one that you've already had because I got so many more to show you. I then topped my card with a couple of those brushed metallic adhesive backs. Let me show you these in detail because these are so cool. What I like about these is that you get so many different colors. You get gold, you get copper, and you get like a brushed, like a brushed gold or brushed copper. So you get lots of different colors that you can pick from to be able to use on these cards, which is what makes it really, really nice. So anyway, that is the card, one of the cards that I wanted to share with you, and just kind of tell you how I used the exact same template. Now, I'll be posting pictures of all of these cards on, if not, it'll probably be in the morning. Usually I do that Friday morning. Usually after I go live with all of you, it's see my kids before they go to bed because they got home from dance right before I go live. They get home about 6:30. And please, case away, Pat, and any of you. That is why I'm here, to inspire you, help you to create with your products. I never, ever mind anybody creating any of my cards. I always say it's the best compliment you can give me is by duplicating the things that I share with you. So do not ever hesitate to ask if you can do that, or just do it. You don't even have to ask. All right. So this is one of the cards I wanted to share with you. Again, using some of that cork. I really like the cork on this. So this, it uses the cork, and this uses all of those dies. So this is another way of showing you how to use this bundle. On this one, I have a 3x3 piece of the cork, and I layered it behind a piece of the crumb cake cardstock. So let me do that first. And then what I did is I layered all those. Again, this one does not have any of the flowers stamped. Those are all just die cuts from the dies themselves. When I remember when I showed you them and said you had a lot of them that did different shapes. So you have this one, and you have this one, and then there's this one. So I chose to just do them in the 3 of the colors that are part of the designer series paper. So this is done in Calypso Coral, Bumblebee, and Mint Macaron. And then my card base for this one is the crumb cake, or not crumb cake, it's Very Vanilla. Sorry, Very Vanilla. Okay, so Very Vanilla. And then I have a piece of crumb cake that is my matte 5 1/4 by 4, followed by the designer series paper 5 by 3 3/4. And so these two I'm just going to adhere together. Thank you, Philomena. And then I did add the ribbon around these two. So I'll bring in this diamond weave ribbon. Now this diamond weave ribbon is a little bit of a thicker ribbon. So it's really not a ribbon that you would want to use to make bows, or a ribbon that you would want to do. I did use it on one of my cards to tie like the knot, but I found this ribbon to work a lot better using it the way that you're seeing me use it tonight, where I'm just wrapping it around the card mats itself, and then it can lay nice and flat, and it just adds a little bit of that fall look, vintage look to these cards. Without having to go really into doing too much. It would be pretty, you may have to have extra postage on your card if you sent it with a knot in it. So just a little FYI there. But the ribbon itself is gorgeous, using it, like I said, the way in which you see me doing it tonight. So then I'm just going to adhere this down to my card. And then using dimensionals, I adhered this down to the middle. So I'm just going to put a dimensional in the 4 corners of this. So we're just going to go like that. And we're going to take off. I bought a little gadget that I was hoping to show you guys tonight. I'm not sure if it came and if it's in my mailbox or not. So if not, you'll have to watch me next week. But it's a neat little gadget that I got to pick up all those dimensional backings, so I'm not fighting with it. And not going to ruin the surprise, but you'll see it on one of my upcoming, hopefully it's here for next week. I was hoping it was going to be here for this week. Okay, and then I just adhered these down using some liquid glue. I used the liquid Tombow glue. You can see here I did not adhere in my bottoms or my tops very well. I really focused on the middle part. Now I don't have any of my liquid glue here at my table, but you guys get the gist of it. Like I said, I've got a lot more cards to go and I've only got 10 more minutes to be live with you. You guys, like I said, you'll be able to get the gist of it here. And then I stamped my thank you using Calypso Coral on a 1/2 inch by 1.5 inch piece of cardstock, Very Vanilla. Stamped my thank you. Now that thank you also comes from the stamp set. So again, using all of the same things. Dimensioned that on here and added a couple of the, I'm not sure what color you want to call them. I'm losing it. Like not platinum. I don't know. But this color, how's that? This color on here on the bottom. Okay. So that is how I assembled that card. So this card, like I said, does not really incorporate any of the stamping here. It just uses those dies to create a really pretty card. Again, the focal point here being that pretty cork paper. Okay, so there is card number 3. Let me see here what I have time to finish showing you. So this next card I'm not going to actually make with you. I'm just going to show you. Bronze, yes. Courtney is always my rescuer. Thank you, Courtney. I'm telling you, sometimes words just fail me on these lives, and she has come to the rescue so many times for me. Okay, so this card right here, I focused on more of the coloring and using that stamp set, or this image. And there's a die to cut that out. So that is what I did. I also used a 2-inch strip of paper and one of our tag toppers from the annual catalog. Little piece of cork down here on the bottom. And see, here's where I did the ribbon with the knot. And you can see here that it's quite thick. So that is why I don't advise using it that way. Now this card is going to be a card that I'll probably just hand out to someone, so I don't have to send it through the mail. You'd probably have to add extra postage on this one. Added a bronze, I love it, bronze brushed metallic backed dot right to the hole up there where that tag went. Added a ribbon, added my sentiment. Now this time I did not use the die, I just used a strip of paper, cut a little banner in it. Oh, my little thingy moved. There we go. And there you have another cute and beautiful card. Now this one, like I said, focuses more on the stamping and the cutting out of this shape using one of the coordinating dies. Okay, so this next card I am going to share with you. We are going to make together. So most of you know that when I do my Facebook Lives and I make my cards and I design them, I try to showcase a little of everything from the stamp set to give you some good versatility and some good ways to use everything. So what I have not used or showcased yet tonight is this image right here. Now I didn't use this one at all on my cards for tonight. I tried to, but it's really hard. But I'm going to show you what I did with this one right here. So this is the card that I created using that stamped image. So again, a good way of using up some scraps. So for this one, I chose to use Bumblebee as my card base, 5.5 by 8.5. And then I have a layer of the Calypso Coral, that's 5.25 by 4. And then a piece of Very Vanilla that's 5 by 3 3/4. Now this is the piece that's Very Vanilla that I added my 3 little strips of paper to. So these strips of paper, oh, and mine might actually go the full width, the ones that I cut. So you don't have to. You can see these I made a little bit smaller. These were just left over. This is the last card that I created, and they were left over bits and pieces of my designer series paper. So I used it as my template or as my backdrop on this card. So I am just going to add the 2 outside ones first. So I'll add that one there. And then these are 1 inch by, these are 1 inch by 5. This is 1 inch by 4 3/4. So that way you have a little bit of a border around it. Again, my adhesive's giving me grief. Whichever way you prefer to use it. But I like to do the outer 2 first, so that way I can kind of eyeball and line up the same amount of Very Vanilla space. And then when I put the 3rd one on, I can kind of eyeball the space between the 2. Okay? So thank you, Lori, and thank you, Pat. I try. Sometimes I don't always succeed. I was trying to work with, what bundle was it this week, and I gave up. So you guys aren't going to see many cards from me with it. It's the Festive and Bright. So I did design 1 card with it. I was going to do it for a Facebook Live, and I'm struggling with it. Like, I'm struggling with the creativity. I'm struggling what to do to make cards look good. And I went, you know what? Nope, I'm not doing it. I'm not digging it. So next week, I got to tell you guys what you are going to get next week. It's actually behind me on another table, and I was just working on it right before I went live with all of you. I'm using the Knit Together bundle, or the Knitted bundle. It's one that I probably won't do for a class because it's a lot of work, but a lot of work to do for a class, lots of little cutting and stuff, but it's perfect for a Facebook Live. And I cannot wait to show you guys it because it might change your perspective on what you, on whether or not you get it or not. So anyway, on this one, we're going to do a little bit of stamping. I used Crumb Cake, and this is the stamped image already onto my block. And I just stamped it once this way, once this way, and then I stamped it once in the middle. Okay? So that way you have a little bit of an image. Oh, thank you, Mary. Sometimes I don't feel like it. Like, seriously, when I was designing those cards, and I finally just said, nope, not having it. Maybe I'll go back to it, but as of right now, nope. kind of funny how certain things just don't work for you. That's one of them. All right, then we're going to put this on with some dimensionals. So Courtney, yes, this one was stamped a little bit darker, so that one might need some ink. That's a little bit of a joke that we have, because last week I had my ink pad, and I normally don't have, I am a huge advocate for nice ink pads, but my pumpkin pie during my Facebook Live for my Halloween cards, my pumpkin pie was not having it. It was horrible. And so anyway, now I'm kind of more anxious to make sure, and here we are keeping up on my ink pads so that I don't have that on my Facebook Lives again. All right, so there you have that. And then I have a little piece of Calypso Coral cut 1 inch by about 1.5. And then I stamped thank you on it. And we are going to adhere these two together. Maybe I cut that at a horrible angle. So I'm just going to adhere this onto here. Hi, Chris. Welcome, welcome. And again, you can use your paper trimmer if you want. I'm an eyeballer. Sometimes I get a little crooked, and then I do fix them. But anyway, so I'm adding my thank you here to the bottom. And then there's going to be a spot right in the middle to add some ribbon. Again, like I said, this ribbon works perfectly if you're just adding it right across. It's a little bit more bulky and heavy to use if you were going to be adding it with a bow or anything like that. So we're just going to add the ribbon right across the middle here. And then we are ready to adhere this down to our card, which is the bringing out the yellow from the paper. I used Bumblebee. So we're just going to add some adhesive down here and add this to the card base. And then topping it off with a couple of the gold, there you go, dots from that. So there you have it, another card. Hi, Shelby. Okay, so my last card, I think I'm just going to show you guys, because I'm like, oh my gosh, almost at 8 o'clock. I knew that first card was going to take a while, but I had to share it with you. My last card is this card right here. So this is kind of coordinating and using some of these exact same cutouts that I showed you previously. And what I did is when I adhered this card together, I actually cut some of these off. So you're going to start by adhering together your Whisper White. So this one I used white. Your Whisper White layer. This is your Whisper White. That's 5 by 3 3/4. This one is 5 1/4 by 4. So I just layered those two together. And then you're going to adhere these onto your card. Now you could leave them all on if you wanted to, but you're going to cover some of them up. But I just layered these down on top of it to make it look like it's kind of flowers from a little flower garden coming up. And then I added some of my, whoops, let me make sure those go up. I added a little piece of this Designer Series paper that kind of matches the little like weeds right here. And that's all I did. From there I added the ribbon where it met, adhered it to a piece of the crumb cake cardstock. And then again, I have two pieces. This was the one that says a reminder to never forget how much you mean to me and so many others. Added some of the copper dots to the one to the middle of the flower, a couple down here. And there you have another cute card. Now I do have a couple of this kit left, this kit left over. So you would need the stamp set. Any of the dies are cut out for you. But I do have a couple of this left. This was actually a class that I did, one of my Zoom classes that I did. I've been doing a monthly Zoom class for anybody who wants to stamp together versus doing it on your own, because it was something I started when we were all on our shutdown and I'm all stuck at home, and I just continued doing it, and it's been very well received. So I'll do it as long as I have interest in it. But again, you do not have to be live. You can always get this this kit on your own and be able to do it at a time more convenient for you. So let me see, I had 6 cards. Let me make sure I have them here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, this is the pretty one, like I said, my second one here. And then I'm going to show you again the very first one that we made using that awesome technique of stamping on the cork paper. I really hope that you guys liked that neat little technique that I showed you. So if you joined me late, definitely go back on one of my video posts. Check out the replay of how we did this, because there are some tips and tricks to making it stamp good and dry good and all of that. But this is probably my favorite card for the night. I love this one right here. Again, you could try this with so many different colors, and a great way to use that awesome cork paper. So that was a technique tonight instead of a 3D project, but I hope you guys liked it, and I hope that you guys give that a try. And if you haven't bought the cork paper yet, I hope this encourages you to add a pack of that to your next order to give this technique a try. I'm sure if you do that and you give this card to someone, they're going to go, oh my gosh, that's so pretty. How did you do that? Do any of you ever get people that say that to you when you give them a card? They look at it and go, how did you do that? And it's so fun telling everyone how you did it, right? And it's not hard. So anyway, thank you all so very much for joining me this evening and letting me spend an hour of your time with me, or letting me entertain you for an hour with some of my crafting projects. Next week, like I said, I'll be showcasing the knitted bundle. I cannot wait to have fun with that one. It's one that I don't think many demonstrators have really tackled yet. And I'm excited to take it on because I love the whole sweater look and that kind of thing. So hopefully be prepared. I might change your mind on that bundle if you don't have it already. So anyway, I will be posting these pictures for all of you, so you have them. Again, case away, that is what I do this for. And if you have any questions, by all means, let me know. And again, my ordering promotion is anybody who puts in an order from now through the end of September. In addition, it's a $50 order. You'll get a free celebration item. And then from me, you'll get sent at the beginning of October, free package of dimensionals and a box of the glue dots as a thank you, as I'm working hard to get my last little bit in for my huge sales goal that I have as our Stampin' Up! Year ends the end of September. Thank you all so very much. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll be celebrating my Miss Natalie's birthday this weekend. She turns 17 on Monday, and so my mom is coming to visit. So I'm looking forward to spending some time with her and celebrating that, and painting her parking spot. All right, thanks everyone. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'm sure I'll be posting other things for you throughout the next week, but we'll see you together here live next Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye everyone.